We have received 14 responses from the participants. So I'll keep posting the link for you. Those who have joined later can kindly go ahead and fill the forms. Yes, Doctor. Yes, Mohammed. I received your response. Thank you for your message. I confirm that I received your response. So yeah, please go ahead and fill this form. Again, we repeat it again. This is not for any kind of evaluation. You will not be given any marks for this. This is just for us to understand how we are before the training and after the training. Please click on the link and submit your response. So we still have 3 more minutes left to begin for the introductory session. And I would like to highlight that this introductory session of these 3-day training is being live streamed in our Apari Thailand YouTube channel. We will be also recording this session for internal report and training purposes. So we have also enabled auto transcription. In case if you want to know, like you can click on it and see the transcriptions below the meeting. We have 2 more minutes and we'll be starting this introductory session. I thank all the participants and all the speakers for being patient, staying patiently. Thank you. Thank you so much for the participants. I think I have received so far 19 responses, which is good. So we'll be discussing all the responses and results by the end of this introductory session. So maybe we'll also go into the introductory session. Meanwhile, I also request the participants to kindly fill on the forms. I request my colleague Sarda to keep posting the link in between so that those who joined lately can participate in the survey. May I now request Nui to kindly share the housekeeping slide? So we'll now move into the introductory session. Thank you everyone for joining us. So good morning and good evening, our colleagues from US. I am Sasireka Rajendran and I am a project associate at the Asia Pacific Association of Agricultural Research Institutions, APARI. I would like to welcome all the delegates, speakers, participants, and my colleagues who joined us today from different locations through virtual platform under this special circumstance. It is my great privilege to moderate the WTO's Sanitary and Phytosanitary Agreement, Bangladesh Perspective, as a part of our project, Improving Phytosanitary Trade Compliance in Bangladesh project. My colleagues Taratik and Sarthak will be assisting with Zoom controls and moderations. I would like to begin with acknowledging our donors and partners, USDA, USAID, the IR4 project, Ministry of Agriculture of Bangladesh, and APARI for the project and this training in particular. The broad components of the project will include awareness generation on the importance of plant quarantine and plant protection, strengthening and facilitating interdepartmental linkages, strengthening capacity of the National Plant Protection Organization to establish a framework of National Plant Quarantine Authority, enhancing institutional capacity to boost regulatory harmonization of biopesticides, to increase the awareness of the importance of harmonization of pesticide MRLs with Codex and US for trade, and promote integrated pest management approach. We are so excited to have approximately 30 participants for these 3 days training from different wings of Bangladesh Agriculture Departments. I'm pretty sure you're looking forward for this training the same way I am. Before going into the training, I would like to highlight some housekeeping to ensure smooth running of this training without interruptions. I request the participants and the speakers to keep their video and microphone off during the presentation. You can either use the chat box or raise hand option to post your questions. The meeting is being streamed live in APARI Thailand YouTube channel and is being recorded as well. Kindly log in with your name and don't use your mobile name or your laptop name for logging in. And then with this basic information and no further ado, we'll get started by introducing our speakers for today's session and key players of the project. Nui, may please stop sharing the screen. So as I keep introducing the speaker, it would be great if the speakers could just greet the participants. To begin with, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce Mr. Taylor Babcock, USDA Agricultural Attaché. Previously, he worked as an international trade specialist and deputy director in USDA. So we have Taylor with us. Hi, Taylor.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Thank you. So moving on, next we have Jacob Morin. Jacob Morin is an agricultural development officer with USAID Bangladesh Office of Economic Growth. He previously worked in Ukraine, where he managed USAID's economic growth activities, addressing the ongoing conflict. In Bangladesh, he works on mechanization, diversified crops, and trade. Hi, Jacob. Can you please?
Assalamu alaikum. Shubha shakal, everyone. Great to be here.
Hi. So with this, we'll now move on to our APARI colleagues. So I would like to introduce my colleagues, Dr. Ravi Ketrapal. Dr. Ravi Ketrapal is, as you all know, you might have met him in several other conferences as well. Dr. Ravi Ketrapal is Executive Secretary of APARI and is based at Bangkok. He has served for CABI, South Asia, as Regional Director and also as Regional Advisor on the Strategic Science Partnership for a span of more than 7 years. Prior to this, he has worked for National Agricultural System in India for 3 decades. He holds a PhD in Life Science from the University of Paris and was a visiting scientist in the EU Collaborative Project at INRA, France. Dr. Ravi Ketrapal, hi. Can you please?
Good morning, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Ravi. So next we have the main players from APARI who's coordinating with the Bangladesh colleagues in all the activities. So we have with us Dr. Varaprasad. Dr. Varaprasad is a former director, ICAR Indian Institute of Oilseeds Research. He is currently engaged as a senior consultant with APARI and UNDP India and chair for the working group on seed systems of Revitalizing Rain-Fed Areas Network and Odisha Millet Mission India. He did his MSc and PhD at IARI, New Delhi, and taught postgraduate for about 6 years. He worked as a head, National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources Regional Station, Hyderabad for over 2.5 decades, facilitating plant quarantine and plant genetic resource services to over 50 public, private, and international institutions in Southeast Coastal India. Dr. Varaprasad, thank you so much for being with us and kindly organizing, for being the backbone to organize all these events along with Dr. Asanullah.
Thank you. And then good morning and assalamu alaikum to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Varaprasad. We now have with us Dr. Asanola. You all, the familiar face for you all. Dr. Asanola joined government service as Agricultural Extension Officer in 1987 and continued until 1991. He also worked as horticulturist, quarantine entomologist, deputy director in different divisions of Bangladesh Ministry. He joined APARI as coordinator from January 2021. He has been really helping with coordinating and communicating, organizing all different trainings and meetings for this project. We also thank you, Dr. Asanola. If you can unmute yourself and just greet. Thank you.
Good morning and good evening, everyone. Assalamu alaikum to everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Asanola. With this brief introduction of colleagues from USDA, USAID and APARI, I now leave the stage to Rita Day to carry out and then introduce the delegates from Bangladesh and introduce the participants. Rita, over to you.
Thank you. Good morning and good evening to all. Foreign Agriculture Service, FAS, USDA 6 Asia Pacific Association of Agriculture Research Institute, APARI's partnership to assist the Department of Agriculture Extension to strengthen the institutional capacity of the Bangladesh plant health system. To achieve this purpose, various activities were prioritized by the project, improving phytosanitary trade compliance in Bangladesh. Dear participants and honorable guests, as a part of the project activities, APARI arranges a 3-day training program today to 3rd June. On behalf of the Department of Agriculture Extension, I am Rita De, Additional Deputy Director, Rules, Policy and Laboratory and Training Coordinator. Welcome to you all to this training session and seek your active contribution and participation to success the program. Now I request to you all to introduce yourself by mentioning your name, designation, organization, and job responsibilities. Before the participant introduction, I'd like to humble request to my Honorable Director General, Department of Agriculture Extension, to introduce yourself. Sir, busy sir, please introduce yourself.
Doctor, can you? We can't hear you, Doctor. I'm sorry.
Sir, can't hear.
Assalamu alaikum and very good morning. I am Asadullah, Director General, Department of Agricultural Extension, Khamarbari, Dhaka. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Honorable Director, Plant Protection Wing. Sir, please. Hello, sir.
Rita, can
Maybe
you please help us
sir is
with the names?
another meeting. So I want to request Honorable Director, sir, Plant Quarantine Wing.
Dr. Rita, if you could also please help us with the names, we will try unmuting them if they have any problems. Yeah. So participants, when Rita is calling you out, if you have any trouble unmuting or muting, please raise your hands. So we will also request the participants to keep it very short with your name and organization and what. Yeah. So please, yeah.
I request the participant of Plant Quarantine Wing, please introduce yourself one by one. From the headquarters, AD sir, Additional Director. Samsul Alam sir. I request to introduce yourself. Mohammad Samsul Alam, Additional Director, Plant Quarantine. Please. Dr. ASM Abdul Razzaq sir, Deputy Director, Plant Quarantine Wing.
No, you just mute
Sir,
লাইন পাচ্ছে না, তাদের লাইনে ডিস্টার্ব হচ্ছে, তুমি যাদের লাইনে আছে তাদেরকে দাও।
Yeah, so we have Reena. Please
যারা
go
line
ahead
এ
and
আছে
introduce
তাদেরকে দাও।
yourself, Reena. Try to unmute and you can introduce yourself.
Assalamu alaikum. Very good morning to all. This is Husnara Reena, Additional Deputy Director, Import, Plant Quarantine Wing, Headquarters.
Thank you so much.
then Anjan Chandra Mandal. Anjan, unmute and introduce yourself.
Shashi, you can unmute Anjan.
Yeah,
Dr.
yes.
Anjan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. This is Anjan Chandra Mandal, Additional Deputy Director, Plant Quarantine Wing, working under Ministry of Agriculture.
Thank you. Then
Thank
Joel Rana. Joel Rana, ADD Plant Quarantine Wing. Then Ms. Falguni Mojumdar, Plant Quarantine Wing. Ms. Fatima Jannat Joya, Plant Quarantine Wing. Mr. Ahmed Rizvi, Plant Quarantine Wing. Please introduce yourself. Unmute at first. Unmute you. Unmute it.
Can you please raise your hands? If your name is being called up, please raise your hand. So we'll be helping you with unmuting. Thank you. Yeah, you can please unmute yourself.
Mr. Samsul Alam sahib is here, I think so.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. This is Ahmed Rizvi, quarantine entomologist, import. Thank you.
Thank you.
Then
So-
Ziaul Islam, Plant Protection Wing, Plant Quarantine Wing. Ziaul Islam. Okay. Then Arifur Rahman.
এই শামসুল আলমকে বলো, শামসুল আলম।
Okay. Additional Director, Mohammad Samsul Alam sir, please introduce yourself. Sir, unmute.
So yeah, we have Zahid with us. Zahid, can you please unmute and you can introduce
Follow
yourself?
ডিপার্টমেন্ট থেকে যে ব্যবস্থা নেওয়ার কথা ছিল
Zahid.
ওই উপসরকারের প্যাকেজটা এখন পর্যন্ত
Ms. Yoshi, please unmute it to all because participant can unmute it. Ms. Yoshi, can you unmute?
Yeah, they do have the rights to unmute. You can please unmute.
Shashi, please unmute Mr. Shamsul Alam, Additional Director, PQW. He is not able to unmute. So please unmute him.
Dr. Samshul, please try it now. Yeah, you can.
Yes,
You are mute.
Thank you. I am
কৃষিবিদ মোহাম্মদ শামসুল আলম, এডিশনাল ডিরেক্টর প্ল্যান কোয়ারেন্টাইন উইং। থ্যাংক ইউ।
Thank you. Thank you.
Then Mr. Apurva Chandra Dhar, Plant Quarantine Wing. Apurva Chandra Dhar. Okay. Then I request Mr. Mohammad Nasiruddin sir, DD Seaport, Chittagong.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning. I am MD Nasiruddin, Deputy Director, Plant Quarantine Station, Seaport, Chattogram. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Then Mr. Shubhra Kumar Chakraborty, DD Benapol, PQ Station Benapol.
I am Subroto Kumar Chakraborty, Deputy Director, Plant Quarantine Station, Landport, Benapol, Jasur.
Thank you, sir. Anush Kumar Bishash, DD Bhumra. Please, sir, introduce. Sir, I first unmute you. Can hear, sir. Anush, sir, unmuted you. Yes.
Rita, please, Dr. Badjak, DD Import, he wants to introduce.
DD Quarantine, Bhumra, Landport, Aspira.
Thank you, sir. Then Dr. Mohammad Saif,
Rajak.
Dr. Mohan Kumar Ghosh,
Mohan Kumar Ghosh,
DD Plant Quarantine Station, Mongla. Please, sir, introduce yourself.
This is Mohan Kumar Ghosh.
Rita,
Sir.
Dr. Rajak ke dao, DD Import.
Okay, sir.
I am here. Rita. I am Dr. Razal Karim. I am here.
Okay, sir.
Good morning to all. Good morning to all. I am Dr. MD Rajaul Karim, DD Export, PQW Department of Agriculture Extension. Thank you to all.
Thank you, sir. I request DD Import, Dr. Abdul Razak, sir. Please introduce yourself. Sir, DD Import, sir, please. Abdul Razak, sir, can you hear me? Okay.
Okay.
Let me proceed.
Thank you very much for giving me the chance to introduce myself. This is Abdul Razak, Deputy Director, Import, Plant Quarantine Wing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
The chance to introduce myself.
Then I request Mr. Muhammad Shah Alam, sir, DD Dhaka Airport.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Shah Alam, Deputy Director, Plant Quarantine Station, Hazrat Shahjal International Airport, Dhaka.
I request Mr. Ananta Sarkar, Central Pack House, ADD Central Pack House. Ananta Sarkar.
Good morning. This is Ananta Sarkar, Additional Deputy Director, Central Packing House, Quarantine. Thank you.
So Rita, a kind reminder, we only have like 10 minutes for our introductory session. We'll try to finish it.
I think we can finish. Okay, within 10 minutes. I request Dr. Syed Rafiqul Amin, DD Field Service Wing. Dr. Rafiqul Amin, sir.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum and very good morning. Unmute হচ্ছে না।
স্যার শোনা যাচ্ছে?
হ্যাঁ শোনা যাচ্ছে?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I am Dr. Syed Rafiqul Amin, Deputy Director Fertilizer Management, Field Service Wing, Department of Agriculture Extension. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Then I request Uday Rana Singh, Training Wing. Uday.
A very good morning to All, this is Uday Rana Singh, Research Officer, Department of Agricultural Extension, Ministry of Agriculture. Thank you all.
Thank you. Then I request Ms. Karima Akhtar. Karima Akhtar, Plant Protection Wing.
Hello, good morning to everyone. My name is Karima Akhtar. I am working as an additional Deputy Director, IPM in Plant Protection Wing, Department of Agricultural Extension, Dhaka.
Mr. Obaidul Haq Reza, Plant Protection Wing.
Good morning to everyone. I am Mohammad Obaidul Haq Raja, working as chemist in Plant Protection Wing. Thank you.
Thank you. Khondokar Jannatul Firdaus, Plant Protection Wing.
Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum and good morning. I am KJ Firdaus, working as an analytical chemist in the Plant Protection Wing, Department of Agriculture Extension. Thank you.
Ismat Jahan Emi, Plant Protection Wing. Ismat Jahan Emi.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Good morning to everyone. This is Ismat Jahan Emi, chemist, Plant Protection Wing, Khamarbari, Dhaka. Thank you.
Mohammad Johirul Haq, Plant Protection Wing. Mohammad Johirul Haq.
Assalamu alaikum and very good morning to all of you. I am Mohammad Jamil Haq. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Syed Monirul Haq, Plant Protection Wings, Seaport Chittagong.
Assalamu alaikum and very good morning to everybody. I am Syed Monirul Haq, Quarantine Chattogram. Thank you.
Thank you. Mitul Kumar Shaha, Hortis Foundation.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mitul Kumar Shaha. I am working at Hortex Foundation under Ministry of Agriculture for promoting horticultural crops in abroad. Thank you very much.
Dr. Shah Mohammad Monir Hossain, Senior Scientific Officer. Please introduce yourself.
So he's no more. No, Mr. Obaidul Haq, who is there? No. Go another BRC.
Dr. Muhammad Rafiqul Islam,
Yes,
Chief
Assalamu
Scientific
alaikum.
Officer. Please
Yeah,
introduce
thank you.
yourself.
Assalamu alaikum and very good morning to everyone. This is Dr. Muhammad Rafiqul Islam, Chief Scientific Officer, Livestock Division, Bangladesh Agriculture Research Council. I'd like to give thanks to for organizer for inviting me to join this valuable training program. Thank you very much.
Syed Moinul Hussain, BARI. Moinul Bhai, please introduce yourself. Moinul Islam.
Thank you. This is Dr. Moinul Islam, Senior Scientific Officer, Plant Pathology Division, Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute. Thank you.
Moinul Bhai, unmute.
I have
Poise them.
This is Dr. Moinul Islam, Senior Scientific Officer, Plant Pathology Division, BARI, Gazipur.
Thank you. Then I request the nodal person from Plant Quarantine Wing, Shongita Bhattacharya, please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, this is Shongita Bhattacharya. I'm working as a plant quarantine entomologist, export sections, and now I am working with APARI as a nodal person from plant quarantine wing. Thank you everyone.
And I request the nodal person from Plant Protection Wing, Mr. Subroto Kumar Das.
Hello everyone, very good morning. This is Subroto Kumar Das, Additional Deputy Director, Pesticide Quality Control under Plant Protection Wing, DAE. Thank you all for active participation and good introduction. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. So this is the introduction
Mr. Poise.
part.
Mr. Poise is still there. Mr. Poise.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is Mohammad Faiz, Assistant Director, Department of Agriculture Marketing. Thank you again.
Miss Shashi, this part is over. Okay.
Thank you so much, Rita. That was great knowing all the participants from all the departments of agriculture, Bangladesh. Now we'll move on to our next agenda. So I now request Taylor Babcock, USDA Agricultural Attaché, to provide us views on improving Bangladesh agricultural trade scenario.
Great, thank you. So good morning, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. This is quite a powerful group we have here. So thank you all for joining us. I deeply appreciate you taking time to talk with us and to cooperate with us on this important project, especially Director General Asadullah. Thank you for taking time. Thank you to our APARI team for putting this all together. I'll keep my comments very short. I just want to highlight how important this project is for us. Working with the Department of Ag Extension, with Plant Quarantine Wing, with Plant Protection Office, it is very, very important for our office. And I believe it's very, very important for the United States and Bangladesh relationship. As you all know, Bangladesh is increasingly becoming an importer, but also an exporter. And so improving the communication between the United States and Bangladesh is increasingly important for us. I was looking at the numbers earlier today. From 2016 to 2000 to this year, so 5 years, Bangladesh has imported, the imports went in agriculture goods went from $7 billion to now we're up towards $9.5 billion. So it is increasingly becoming an important market. The exporting countries over $1 billion include India, Brazil, and the United States. So what that means for me, coming from the Department of Agriculture, is as more exporters, as more producers in the United States start to see the economic opportunities here, they ask that we improve our relationship and our communication with Bangladesh, with all of you. And that goes both ways. So Bangladeshi exporters trying to reach overseas markets, how do they communicate with those markets? And so that is all done through what we call the Wto Sps Agreement. And so enhancing our communication under this agreement is not only important so that we can better understand what Bangladesh requires and what the United States requires to enhance trade, but also to the benefit of our producers, to our exporters, to our businesses. So if we're focused on creating economic benefits for our respective countries, projects like this become very, very important. So again, I thank you all for taking time, for working with us. Asanullah from APARI, or sorry, from our team, and Dr. Ravi from APARI, I appreciate your leadership on this effort. I can say from a U.S. Department of Agriculture, we stand ready to work with the Department of Ag Extension, the Ministry of Agriculture, Plant Protection Wing, Plant Quarantine Wing, all of you to the greatest extent that we can to make this successful so we can enhance the communication between our offices. So Donobat, thank you again. I wish the 3-day event as a success, and I'll hand it over to Jacob Morin, from my colleague from USAID.
Thank you, Tyler, and good morning, everyone. It's great to see so many people here, and let me echo Tyler's sentiments in thanking the Director General for making time this morning for this very important event. I also appreciate the opportunity to offer some of USAID's perspectives on this event and this project. As Tyler said, it's very important to the US government. Maintaining SPS agreements is a key step toward improving and increasing international trade. And at USAID, our view is that international trade can be a powerful tool for driving economic growth and reducing poverty. As businesses and farmers become more familiar with the SPS protocols and their ability to comply with those standards increases, they're able to receive better prices for their goods and cheaper prices from imported goods. And that's why we really view SPS compliance as an important anti-poverty measure. And many of you here at today's training can help us in that mission to help reduce poverty within Bangladesh by enforcing SPS compliance in a more streamlined manner. So thank you again for your participation in this series of trainings. I look forward to learning with all of you. Dhanabad. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tyler and Jacob. We know it's pretty late for you, but thank you so much again for staying up for this meeting. So we will now...
Shashi, can I say something? Now it is time to deliver a speech from Director General. He will take 15 minutes when he is talking to another line. So he requested to take 15 minutes. So I think Dr. Robi sir can speak to us if sir allow.
Sure. So we will have our next presentation and an introduction by Dr. Ravi Ketrapal. So he'll be presenting to us on the need for phytosanitary trade compliance. Dr. Ravi, over to you.
Thank you, and good morning, all of you once again. It's a pleasure to be in such a group where we are going to really initiate our training under the USDA project. And I would like to first of all thank Mr. Asadullah, the Director General of BAE, and of course to Babcock Tyler, who has been a force behind to bring this project on the ground, and to Jacob Morin for his presence this morning, and also to other participants and my colleagues from APARI. I'll be speaking very briefly on need for phytosanitary trade compliance in Bangladesh. In fact, need is well known. We all know the need, but I'll give you a glimpse of why we really need it so much and what we need to do. This map of Asia Pacific represents the 4 important pests and their occurrence, which are emerging pests across the region. We tried to do this homework, it is yet to be published. It shows how even the new pests are emerging in new areas across the region, and Bangladesh is no exception. This highlights the importance of plant protection a lot. Next. If you take up the key health issues in Bangladesh, which needs management, agriculture biosecurity as such has not received proper attention. I have been working with Bangladesh on many issues for the last 11 years, and I saw that this agriculture biosecurity has not got the right kind of attention. There's a lack of dynamic pest database and pest risk analysis for export. SPS information management system is not in place at all. Capacity is not built at all levels. When I say all level, I mean individual capacity, organizational capacity, and the enabling environment, the policy issues. Above all, the innovations are not captured. There are a lot of innovations done in Bangladesh, but they are never captured and scaled up. And the importance of agriculture innovation is we see has assumed a lot of importance now, especially in the era of climate change. And to cap it all, the functional capacity, the soft skill development is not in place. So it is not like I want to give a grim picture. I want to emphasize on these points that which really need a focus for really having the trade compliance well in shape in Bangladesh. Next. Well, I like to skip that. Next. I'll skip this also just to highlight the importance of SPS issues here. Next. I may like to highlight the news in Bangladesh newspaper, the Financial Express. The Financial Express yesterday highlighted how we are easing trade impeding barriers. And it was actually giving a report of South Asia Sub-Regional Economic Cooperation, where Bangladesh is a member. It's like the SAARC countries. They call it SASEC, is minus Afghanistan and Pakistan. And the report was launched by Asian Development Bank. This is the most recent thing. So I picked up that instead of our own reports, which we have done earlier. Next. Asian Development Bank clearly mentioned like how to be smart in exporting. You know, like Bangladesh exports a lot to India. For example, if you take frozen shrimp, there are 41 SPS and PBT measures. And there are a large number of the 6 authorities. If you export to UK, it's only 10 measures and single authority. Easy for Bangladesh to export to UK than to India. And that is where I think we really need to focus, not like from a matter of convenience. This is what the exporters are going to look for in future. Similarly, Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, if you like to see the measures for importing black tea, they imposed 33 SPS and KBT measures. UK imposed only 15. So this is a kind of ease of doing business which is coming up, which we really need to understand. Next. Again, dealing with SPS and TBT is a challenging task for developing countries, and we have seen it in Bangladesh. It requires comprehensive understanding, database, technical skill, and also learnings from the trading partners and a regional approach. Next. So the facts of Bangladesh is there are about 15 rules, regulations, and policies related to SPS and technical barrier to trade. Different ministries and bodies and organizations are involved, but they lack coordination. That's what we are seeking to bring in the project. And the ministries which are involved are named here: fisheries, agriculture, health, environment, and so on, and their departments. And local businesses, exporters and importers, are not aware of different SPS measures and related government bodies. This is something we are going to take up in the project. Next. Also, it's difficult to get comprehensive information on SPS and TBT in Bangladesh through a single window. Bangladesh is yet to have any umbrella organization or any electronic platform where you have all this information at one platform, which we are vying for in this project to establish. Next. Now, if these SPS and TBT measures, most of you may be knowing, are non-tariff measures, and Bangladeshi exporters are highly affected by non-tariff measures. International Trade Center from Geneva, they surveyed, and the result came 91% of exporters in Bangladesh are affected by very burdensome non-tariff measures and other obstacles to trade, which is one of the highest in the world. So this is something which is very alarming, which has to be taken care of. Next. However, there is some ray of hope as the New Age recently published in 2019. I don't know how much it is in place, that the government of Bangladesh launched a database of SPS measures to assist exporters and importers. This is a very positive way of trade compliance. This came up 2 years back in the news, but on the ground, we really need to check with you all what actually is going on. Next. The News Age also highlighted the importance of how to implement and train entrepreneurs, the startup business people in export and import, on the SPS and TBT notification alert mechanism. And a lot of progress has been done on that front. This is a very good sign for encouraging the exporters and importers and to help them in compliances with the latest, by complying to the latest SPS notifications. Next. Now, there are a lot of agencies in phytosanitary compliance globally. Next. FAO is one which is having its Asia Pacific Plant Protection Commission or the International Plant Protection Commission, where Bangladesh is a member. And then USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, has done a lot of work in Bangladesh in terms of phytosanitary capacity building, capacity evaluation, and in terms of reviewing the SPS capacities and the need for it, and the WTO, UNESCAP, World Bank, EU, GIZ. There are a lot of international efforts. International players are coming to Bangladesh one after another. Next. However, the most important thing which was done was by USDA directly into the SPS field. It was very direct. And they made an effort to have a capacity evaluation by following the 13 modules of International Plant Protection Commission. And these are the topics which are listed here on which a detailed analysis was done on capacity. And those in maroon color are the ones which were finally taken up or which were zoomed up to fulfill certain requirements of SPS capacity building that meets most of the trade compliances. Next. There are regional bodies, a number of them, which include our organization, APARI, which are trying to work with in Bangladesh and elsewhere on the SPS issues. Next. There are a lot of private sectors which are coming up to help you comply with SPS, but we have not exploited fully. So they can help ensuring the IPMs, the ecological pest management, good agriculture practice, ensuring various measures in the steps of where SPS is involved in the value chain, and so on and so forth. This is one part which really needs to be zoomed in terms of the capacity building. Private sector needs to be we need to bring them in a more effective way. Next. So in the conclusions of all this exercise which USDA has done, and in the conclusion of my presentation here, I may like to say finally that phytosanitary compliance have significant importance in Bangladesh, which is a vibrant country. And this morning news of 1st June in a newspaper in Bangladesh I was going through online, it says the trade deficit in Bangladesh has gone to minus 21%, which was just 14% at this time last year, which means it has gone to $17.23 billion from the 14 billion. This trade deficit, because import cost is becoming higher, this trade deficit, I think, signals the importance of what we are going to address in the USDA project, where we really need to boost the export. And export can be only boosted by the compliances for which we need effective linkages and synergies among the relevant departments, technical and functional capacities, documented procedures and protocol, SPS information system, legislative reforms, and along with that, we need a very good awareness generation. This will be a significant input, I can assure one and all, for the National Plant Quarantine Authority, which is being envisaged in Bangladesh, and which the component of which is being looked after another agency called Land O'Lake, with whom we would like to synergize in our working as we move ahead. With this, I would like to thank once again the AE Director General and to USDA for really making sure that this project comes on the ground and we move ahead with this very important work in Bangladesh. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ravi, for giving us a very updated news and identifying the areas that we will be covering in this project. It will be really motivating and like all the participants might be knowing the importance of it. So now we'll move on to our presentation by Mohammad Asadullah, Director General, Department of Agricultural Extension, on an overview on Bangladesh agricultural imports and export facilitation by DAE. Mohammad Asadullah, sir, are you there?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Please.
I think I observed Dr. Ravi Khatarpal and Dr. Bhara Prasad and other distinguished guests and all participants. Assalamu alaikum and very good morning. Bangladesh Agricultural Imports and Exports Facilitation by DAE. I like to give you an idea about our export-import facilitation. Next. DAE facilitate agricultural import and export through planned quarantine wing. You know, planned quarantine wing newly opened, I think, 214 in wing, easy facilitation for import-export certification of plants and plant products for safe global trade through preventing anti-establishment or spread of a foreign pest in the country. Bangladesh is a signatory to the International Plant Protection Convention of the Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations in 1974. The country is also a member of Asia Pacific Plant Protection Commission 1978 to formulate rules and regulations and to prevent spread of destructive insect pest. Plant Quarantine Act 2011 has been enacted both Bangla and English and implemented to comply with international phytosanitary regulations. Plant Quarantine Rules 2018 has also been enacted in Bangla. In 2018, when conducted phytosanitary capacity evaluation, there were some inconsistencies were observed in the context international regulation, which is required to be addressed. Role of plant quarantine. Enforcement of Plant Quarantine Act 2011, Plant Quarantine Rules 2018. Promote plant quarantine activities at the post of the exit point. Issuance of phytosanitary certificate for exports of agricultural goods. Recording issuance of release order of plant commodities. Recording interceptions of pests and diseases. Customer service obligations and ensuring the delivery of quality customer services. Role of plant quarantine wing. Implementing international agreement. Next slide, please. Implementing international agreement, protocol, convention, etc. as a signatory of WTO. Maintaining a linkage with other research institutions as well as other related organizations. Deliver plant quarantine service with protecting destructive pests aligned to the country while facilitating the international movement of people and global trade in agriculture. Providing plant quarantine service regarding inspection and certification through the entry and exit point. Working in partnership with clients by providing programs and services that reflect the needs of industry and community. Conduct PRA and pest listing activities by outsourcing, as there no PRA team exists in plant quarantine wing. Our plant quarantine wing setup, once director and then additional director, 2 deputy director, 1 export and 1 import. Deputy director import has additional deputy director and quarantine entomologist and quarantine pathologist, and export additional director, ADD1 and quarantine entomologist and quarantine pathologist. I think this is our headquarter organization chart, and we have 30 ports, quarantine station, plant quarantine station. Next slide. Airport 3, Hazrat Shah Jalal International Airport, Shahmanat International Airport, Chittagong, Usmani International Airport. I think Usmani International Airport activities not so. I think Seaport 2, Chittagong and Mongla, Land Border Checkpost 23, River Port Narayanganj 1, and ICD Kamalapur. Our online service providing all over the country, online issuance of import permit, phytosanitary certificate and release order. Certificate in 2020, number of certificate issued, PC 15,894, IP 26,338. This is 2020, but if we see in this year, just 2 months, March, April, 3 months, March, April. Next slide. Next slide. Certificate issued last 2 months, March 21, April 21, and May 21. Certificate PC 8,320. IP 7,647, and total RO release order 13,232. If you see, it is we are now running more smoothly, and I think our wing work very good, and our online certificate system. Next slide. This is the system of phytosanitary certificate, headquarter current system, user C, phytosanitary certificate headquarter to be start flow chart given. I think it self-explanatory. Next, online certificate system, import permit, proposed system, import permit IP, start application for import permit in desktop pro pre UDA PCI office assistant is of in desk integers, and this is the flow chart of online certificate system IP, and this is online certificate system RO release order. This is the start application for release order, apply in desktop visitor. This is the flow chart. Okay. Last 5 years import export volume. 2015 agricultural goat import, I think 1,46,14,819.61 metric ton, and 2019-20 1,67,000. It's more over same. I think only 23 lakh more. Export. In case of export, it on more. We have 10 lakh, and now 7 lakh 92,000. Last 5 years export volume. Vegetable 2015-16, 25,470 metric ton. 19-20, 62,766. It is more than double. And fruits, 5,797. And now 2,442. Non-compliant issue, that is more important. 15-16, 147. Now 2019-20, it is only 44. Import of major agricultural goods: rice, wheat, maize, raw cotton, fruits, vegetable, pulse, oil, spices. This is our item for agricultural goods import item. Export item: tea, raw jute, fruits, vegetables, spices, foodstuff, betel leaf. We started betel leaf just our date was 22nd of May. Our agriculture minister opened in European Union betel leaf in Shampoo Central Packing House. Export of major agricultural goods. Okay, next. Current activities for enhancing trade. Production through contract farming, maintaining traceability. It is very important. Reduction of fraudulent certificate by printing new PC from security printing press, Bangladesh, in addition with some safety alternatives. Reduction of issuing fraudulent certificate through automation. Inter-ministerial meeting with different organizations for coordination. Current initiative for enhancing trade, pest listing and PRA, constructed and started trade from Central Pack House, exporters registration, modernization of PQ station, need support to enter into Wto process system for more transparency. Assistance required for capacity development of facilitated trade. Financial support for development of at least 3 accredited labs. Technical and financial support for risk assessment at entry-exit point and mitigation. Technical and financial support for conducting pest risk analysis, preparation of guideline and action plan for export-import procedure and biosecurity operation. Capacity development of surveillance mechanism, training for human resource development. Thank you. Thanks everybody. And quarantine keeps pest at bay and protects agriculture.
Thank you so much, Mohammad Asadullah sir, for providing us with an overview on different activities being carried out by the Department of Agricultural Extension. I now request Dr. Varaprasad to give us a presentation on capacity building approaches covering technical and functional aspects. Over to you, Dr. Varaprasad.
Thank you. Thank you. A very comprehensive view and then future directions from the Director General. Thank you very much, sir. You have given, I am extremely happy to see that out of your 5 requirements, 4 of them are covered in this project. May not be completely, definitely they are part of this project to help the technical assistance in the areas what you are looking for. And then excellent remarks from Dr. Khetrapal and Tyler. Tyler and Jacob have given full support not only for the project, but for the phytosanitary trade compliance in Bangladesh. And thank you very much. And I'm extremely happy for the participation of the very key and powerful staff from the DAE and also outside the DAE like BARC, BARI, Heartex Foundation, and several other stakeholders are now part of this program. And then we have a few guest speakers, and many other guests are also viewing this program. I'm happy that this is being viewed by several people, not only live from here, but also from the APARI YouTube channel. So this, before I give you the approach, phytosanitary trade compliances, capacity building approaches, before I give you, I would like to say historically, for about a decade, the USDA has been working on a similar subject in Bangladesh, and we are fully aware of the strengths and the points where we need to invest more time and finances. Then also Dr. Khetrapal, now the APARI Executive Secretary, in his current capacity as Bangladesh is a member of APARI, and also in his previous capacity from CABI, he has got rich experience in Bangladesh, where he conducted the phytosanitary capacity evaluation, and that study has become basis for capacity building in this particular project. Thank you, Dr. Khetrapal, for giving a lot of insights and approaches that we need to take up in this capacity building. Next slide, please. And I am joined by Ms. Martina, who is the Knowledge Management Coordinator of APARI. Both of us put together have made this presentation for technical as well as functional skills. Just I would like to give you a glimpse of it, and from now on, I request all the participants to raise your hand if you need some clarification. And I also would like to clarify, you can ask questions in Bangla. Absolutely no problem. Dr. Ahsanullah will help us in translation, and then we will come with the response for those questions. So feel comfortable, at ease to make any questions today and also the next 2 days, and interact with us. The more the interaction, we will enjoy more working with you. And with this, I just would like to start with the point that the basis for the capacity building has come from the phytosanitary capacity evaluation project, which was headed by Dr. Ravi and concluded in 2018. And that identified the gaps as well as strengths, and needs were assessed. And based on the needs, we are now going to make an annual plan for the training. And for the 2 years, we will make each annual plan. And we will develop this training plan in association with you, all the key officers from the plant quarantine wing, plant protection wing, from the marketing, from the field services, and also from outside like BARC, BARI, and then Export Association. All these people will be consulted when we develop this annual training plan for each year, and then we would like to go ahead with that. And the needs are already assessed, and we know the key areas where we need to strengthen the phytosanitary capacity. And it's not just we give for these 2 years and go away. We are also planning that this capacity building activity is a long-term process, and updating is required over a period of time. For that, the project plans for a sustainability capacity building by establishing some facilities at the DAE itself in the plant quarantine wing, so that it is continuous and the specific new areas will be addressed. And then our ultimate objective is the critical mass of human resource. For example, the DG DAE has highlighted that the PRA team is not there now. Can we move towards developing a PRE team of this plant quarantine wing, so that they are not dependent on the outside source, and we are strengthen the PRA capacity. That becomes the priority of the both DAE and also this project. They combine, and then we will try to make efforts to build in that direction. And we are extremely grateful to the Department of Agriculture, Director General particularly, and both the directors of plant quarantine and plant protection, that they are very, very cooperative, And when we requested for nomination of the training coordinator and one official each from the plant quarantine and plant protection wing, they have immediately done it. Now they are in place. Now they join APARI team so that we together plan for the DAE's training. Then, as I told you, the sustainability, continuity, addressing the new areas, we are proposing a quarantine training hub. And this quarantine training hub, at the initial discussion, we actually enlisted what are the requirements, what is the planning process, and how we move ahead. Even after the project is over, the quarantine training hub should be part of the plant quarantine wing and continue its capacity building in all the areas. Because in several projects which assess the phytosanitary capacity, everybody has come up with the conclusion the capacity building in SPS area is the most critical area to promote exports and to bring the balance in the trade. So then in this process, we will also see that trainers training will be conducted. It's not that we will only directly train the people, but these key people whom we will handhold during the project period, they will be capable of conducting the trainings even after the project period is over. That because of this trainers training. Then a selected group of a critical group for few people will be identified, and they will be exposed in the phytosanitary trade compliance outside the Bangladesh also. So it all depends on the interest shown, the participation in the training programs, and the need for improving the key staff in the plant quarantine wing will judge. We will be able to take this critical group exposure also outside. Then one of the key gaps identified is that in the earlier projects, as I told you, both by USDA and then the phytosanitary capacity evaluation project, that there are diverse stakeholders and there is no formal communication between them, which is extremely important. And a step towards this in this project we are making by forming a steering committee with the diverse stakeholders. And during the project period, the USDA, USAID, and APARI will be handholding in conducting this steering committee. And this will also, a process like quarantine training hub, will be continuously moving forward. Next slide, please. Yeah, so just to come to the specifics, we have identified certain areas where the capacity is important. And then if we build the capacity in these areas, it's definitely will bring the phytosanitary trade compliance will come. So as I already told you, the high priority area is PRA, pest risk analysis. And current capacities are low as substantiated by the DG, and it is our duty to strengthen this area. And we are planning certain modules, PRA modules, not only initial prerequisites from us, but also through the help of the APHIS of USA will also participate in capacity building here. Then, as you know that for pest risk analysis, risk assessment, risk management, and risk communication are three important components of pest risk analysis. And risk assessment is the most important out of the three. And this is also a high priority area, which we have a module planning on the risk assessment. And pest diagnostics. So this here, the capabilities are spread and also variable. So for this, we need some formal network, diagnostic network, which we require, including the research institutes and the universities within the Bangladesh to help in the very quick identification, both in export and imports, the pest diagnostics. So we have under the APHIS also one plant pest ID system module, which we propose to include it in this. Then pest reporting, surveillance, and risk communication. When we do these things, it is also again conducted, these things are conducted by plant protection wing, but we would like that there should be a field service wing, plant protection wing, and plant quarantine wing should have a formal linkage within the department, and then should meet regularly. And the surveillance needs the areas where the imports have come, the areas from where the export is going. This surveillance should become very effective and communication should be very effective. So in this context, both pest surveillance and the risk communication, the modules, we have kept it in this. Another important point is that NPPO structure and linkages. Currently, the Director Plant Quarantine Wing is the NPPO for Bangladesh. And there are certain formal linkages and certain kind of autonomy is required for effective function of the Plant Quarantine Wing. We would be very happy to have discussions through the steering committee with all the staff, the top brass staff, and try to see how formalistic linkages and suggest the governance and certain autonomy measures for implementation by the DAE. Then I'm also very happy that the Bangladesh has taken many steps, as we have heard from Dr. Ravi Ketapal, that the some SPS measures latest taken such as database is a very good step. And we also would like to strengthen the plant quarantine wing in having the institutional memory for the notifications as well as for the certificate issued, for the import permit issued, and the issues that are coming while doing these things. All these things we need to really discuss and make it. And in this case, I'm happy to inform all of you know, I think that at least the top brass knows that the Deputy Secretary level officer of Ministry of Commerce has been notified as the notification authority of this Bangladesh, and he is part of the Wto cell of Ministry of Commerce. And then what we need is how do we establish linkage of the plant quarantine wing with this notification authority and the inquiry point, SPS inquiry point. And these things in formalization, we will discuss these key administrative issues through the steering committee and try to help them. Next, please. Then we have the market access, which is extremely important. In fact, in the inception workshop, I was very happy to see the interactions of the marketing officials who participated there with the very right questions that they have asked. So in this, probably the production, processing, packing, and labeling investments for better exports is one area where, and also market intelligence is also to be linked to the exports. This is extremely important. These are some of the things which we'll address. And there is a module on market access process. This also we would like to include in the capacity building. Then the risk management is also included. Pest-free areas. This is a very important concept where even if the pest is there in Bangladesh, but in the production area, if it is not there, how to follow the international guidelines and come up with the results to declare pest-free areas acceptable to the international community for exports facilitation. Then inspection and certification also, we have certain modules based on the requirement. This also can be included in the annual training plan. Treatments are also extremely important for exports, and the treatments based on the international guidelines and acceptability to the import country, we need to really work on, and then have the phytosanitary treatment module also, which we can think of it. Next, please. Then we have the biopesticides. Actually, one of the objectives of the project includes biopesticides as a mitigation process for pesticide residue, and the IPM modules, which are now currently done by the PPW. And this also we will see, based on the requirement, we will develop the training modules. And on the pesticide residues and MRLs, which is also looked after by PPW now, one training is completed. The chemist from the BAE has been trained in this area from the PPW, and we will take the feedback from you and design the training programs on these issues, and also for food safety, security, and policy, if any requirement is there based on the need and based on the guidance from the top steering committee, we will finalize our plans. Next, please. So these functional capacities also, we believe they are extremely important, and like non-technical skills the non-technical knowledge, the attitudes and behaviors, and successfully apply them to coordinate. For example, as a focal point of NPPO, the persons who are leading in the plant quarantine wing should not only have the knowledge skills, but also functional skills to negotiate with the different countries and different stakeholders within the country also to promote export and for safe imports. And this will be taken up by our knowledge management coordinator will focus and integrate with the technical capacity building, the functional capacities also, like vision, innovation, confidence, leadership, motivation, integrity, mentoring, empowering. These are some of the areas where our knowledge management coordinator will pass on the functional capacities. Next, please. The most important thing is the capacity to navigate the complexity and capacity for collaboration. This is something which is extremely important. It is not just a technical collaboration. To maintain the sustainable collaboration, you need certain attitudes. How these functional capacities will be enhanced will be covered in this functional training. Capacity for reflection and learning, capacity to engage in strategic and political process, which is also very key factor for promoting the key areas of improving the trade balance. Next, please. Then we have certain areas where knowledge management areas where there will be pesticide mitigation and biopesticide promotion, risk communication, and negotiation with the farmers, which is extremely important. Particularly, the farmers producing the export produce should be given handhold for pesticide management and decision makers negotiation, business plans development, conflict management, participatory need assessment, communication and representation of data. These are some of the issues which will be covered in the functional capacity development. Next, please. And this is the roadmap developed by Dr. Ravi in the previous phytosanitary capacity evaluation. And this is very long-term and very logically based roadmap. That's why I have borrowed from him and kept it here, that in 2018, that is the starting point for the closing the PCE project. Then by 2020, we should gain the momentum in addressing the gaps, which we are doing. Then some systems approach needs to be done. And by 2023 and 28, at least the now whatever from 14 to 17% gap increase between the import and export, that should be reduced instead of increasing. And then always we should see not only in the quantity, but also the value of the produce which we export and import. And this is the last slide. Thank you very much. So we would like to take all the approaches of individual development, trainers training development, and particular specific areas identified, and we'll take up this plan and we'll develop the annual plans in association with our training coordinator. And the training coordinator may be given all the needs of the training and the interests and the areas can be communicated to her with a copy to us or directly also. So we would like to take all that into account while we will finalize the training plan, annual training plan and sustainable training plan for the quarantine training hub. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Varaprasad, for providing us a brief update on the capacity building. We could clearly see that there has been a lot of research that went into the project to identify the gaps that has led to the development of different approaches for the success of this project. We also appreciate the slides from Martina, Apari's Knowledge Management Coordinator, who will be playing a key role in taking the project forward by balancing technical and functional capacities. It is also highly motivating to see we also have a long-term vision beyond the project period. That was a great presentation, Dr. Varaprasad. Now, if participants have any questions, we'll wait for a few minutes to see if there are any questions. If not, we'll proceed with the next agenda. Please, participants, if you have any questions, you can raise your hands or you can post it in the chat box. We have a question from Syed. Syed, you can please unmute yourself. Please go ahead, yeah. Syed, please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
sir. Please go ahead. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. This is Soyod Monirul Haq, Plan Quarantine Pathology, Seaport, Chattogram. Perhaps you know the Plan Quarantine Station, Seaport, Chattogram is one of the largest stations in Bangladesh. About 85 to 90% of agricultural commodities imported and exported through this Plan Quarantine Station. And this is a very busy station in Bangladesh. And perhaps it will be it is a very good news for us. Already we are going an automation process about 100%. We are issued import permit, phytosanitary certificate and release order in automation process. And next we will go to the hopefully phytosanitary hub. But here my question is the plan quarantine rule is only only deals with the plant and plant pest and disease. And in some instance, when we export some agricultural commodities from Bangladesh, here some new we have to know the MRL levels in Bangladesh. This is and is it? But here one question is for me: is it included in the plan quarantine rule? We are exported some things, some export, some vegetables, biscuits in the abroad, but sometimes they want to know us about the MRL level from Bangladesh. And is it a part of plan quarantine rules? Is it a part of a plan quarantine rule? If we don't issue trade, we cannot export our agricultural commodities from Bangladesh. So it is very essential for us. Would you please tell me it is a part of plan quarantine rule, that is identification of MRL or ADI, acceptable daily intake, MRL, that is. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dr. Varaprasad, you are muted. Can you please?
Sorry, Dr. Ravi, can you please respond and then I will supplement it.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Syed, for the question. It's a very important question you have raised. And generally in quarantine, we feel it is only the pest issue which is of prime importance. In fact, this MRL comes under Codex issue, and it is one of the components that we need to take care of when we do export or import. And MRL may not be looked after by the plant quarantine wing in BAE as such, but you have your plant protection wing where the director is actually looking after the pesticide registration committee and all. And in Bangladesh, as a matter of convenience, the MRL detection activities are normally done by research organizations which are approved by plant protection wing. So, but the pesticide, all control of pesticide registration and usage and all is with plant protection wing. So what we have envisaged in the project is to impart training on MRL to the plant protection wing researchers or scientists or the staff who may gradually take up, because in the long run, they have to be the key player for looking for MRL. Secondly, about the MRL, it is not sometimes the importer will ask you. In fact, it all depends how much you have organized your MRL work. If you are well organized, every time before any export or any import, you will have a bilateral discussion with your partner, trading partner. If you have to export, and if US is the importer, for example, then the US would like to look at the MRL level you have fixed, whether you follow the Codex MRL level, which is given globally, or you have followed the EU MRL level, or you have a bilateral agreement on some kind of exemption on the MRL, or so it is always bilateral, but globally we work with the trading partner. We use the Codex norms. And in few places, it is the EU norms which are more stringent than the Codex norms. So MRL is very important for export and import. And it gradually, with passage of time, it is DAE, Plant Protection Wing, which has to take up officially, legally, the MRL detection and compliance. I hope I'm clear, Mr. Syed.
Syed, thank you very much for this question. And you are a very important and key person facilitating large imports and exports from your center. And we would welcome your interactions and participation in the future as well. And specifically what you have asked is, as you know, the SPS and plant quarantine. Plant quarantine is a subset of SPS. So plant health, animal health, and human health. These MRLs and pesticides are part of human health, and Codex gives these things. So this is not that only one organization will carry. Right now, as Dr. Ravi said, the research organizations are helping in fixing these, analyzing for the MRLs and pesticide residues. But I may also say that till now, this issue did not come up in Bangladesh because there was no restriction or higher restriction asked for other than international obligations for the MRLs. That's why there is no contradiction in both imports and exports so far. But definitely this is a very important component to facilitate both import and exports, and the capacity will be built as a part of this project. Already one chemist from the plant quarantine, plant protection wing has been trained in the residues under this project, and we will enhance the interaction of the BARC and BARI to strengthen more the plant protection wing. Thank you very much. I hope we have satisfied your query.
Thank you so much, Dr. Varaprasad. So if anyone else has question, we have 2 more minutes and then we'll move on to the next agenda.
And also I would like to announce some of the participants asked for the Dr. Ravi's presentation. It's kept in the chat box, already shared in the chat box. Anybody and everybody can download and use it. So this project would like to impart knowledge, not only now, in the future also through the web portal for SPS knowledge management we are going to initiate and help to access to the knowledge on all the aspects. You can download from the chat box that Ravi's presentation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Varaprasad. I think we have no more questions. We will move on to our next agenda, which is pre-test results discussions. So may I now request Dr. Varaprasad and Dr. Asanullah to take over this session.
Thank you. Shashi, can you just put the results on the shared screen? Is it possible?
Yes, Doctor. Yeah, I'll be sharing this.
Yes, please. Dr. Asanullah, you can take the lead, look at the results and give your comments before we start.
Can you please confirm that you can see the results, Doctor?
Yeah. We can see it. We can see it. You can even view the first slide where participation level also. Yeah. Fine, thank you. Dr. Asanullah, please take over and give your remarks before we start the each question-based response.
It is encouraging that 27 responses we got, and the result is I think is good. I think they are aware of the SPS agreement to some extent, so that they could answer the questions, because the true answer is about 96.2% and false answer is only 3.8%. So I appreciate those who answered the questions appropriately, and I think from you will be knowing by the following training more and more about the SPS training. This is just an overview of where we are and what where can we start right now. So this is I think I thanks to everyone everyone. So number one, this is number two. This is also encouraging. True is 74.1%. It's good, very good. I think from my view, it is encouraging. So you can go to the number 3 questions. Okay, number three. Yes. It is also more than 50%, about 60% is true answer, because they are. I have told everyone that our all steps are very new in this arena. But how come the answer more than 59%? It is very exceptional case for me. The answer, right answer is quota is okay. Government imposed the limit. Yes, it is quota, and everyone tried to answer it, but the result is encouraging. Okay, if you okay, number four, once one country extends the particular treatment to another country, it is to some extent it is SPS, because there's some to some extent know the plan quarantine about this is most likely to the WTO SPS agreement. The result is most favored nation. It cannot be known by everyone. However, most of them answer rightly.
Yeah, Dr. Ahsanullah, just I would
not
like
not
to,
only 80.5%. Yes, please.
yeah, just one comment I would like to add here. The essence of this question is that when you give some country the national treatment, all the members of the WTO will get the same treatment. That is the essence.
Sure. All the
so that means
yes, sure. Must.
National treatment is given to all members of WTO.
Yes.
So that is where all the countries where you are exporting or importing will get the status of most favored nation. Once you give to one country, automatically it is applicable to all other countries in general to export and import. This is the essence of this. Yeah, right. Go ahead. Yeah.
Exactly. I cannot give you favor when I cannot give another not favor. So this is favor to all, not to anyone. Okay. Number 5, you will share with me, sir, because it is very much new for also to me. This is number 5.
Dr. Varaprasad, we request you to provide some insights.
Yes, very encouraging answer.
Sorry, Shashi.
Dr. Varaprasad, we request you to provide some insight. Dr. Ahsanullah also wanted some insights on that. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So I will add wherever it is required. We are together with Dr. Ahsanullah. So if you do not have technical capacity, suppose a fruit fly is there, for that a technical treatment research, you don't have resources in Bangladesh. So what do you do in that case? If you follow the ASPM, that is the one which complies with the harmonization. That means this is one point where I would like to stress upon that, and this project also covers, is international sanitary and phytosanitary measurements. ISPMs are there for every SPS measure. So most of them they have. So in such cases, we will develop some guidelines and help the DAE staff to how to develop the guidelines based on the ISPMs. And in the absence of such research facilities or results from the country, you can straight away follow the ISPM, these things. Then it complies with the harmonization. That's the meaning of this. Yeah, next question, please. Oh, such an encouraging result. Yeah, please. This is below, sixth question. So this is the sixth question is the choice label. That means everybody who responded, they responded it correctly, that it is not the political pressure, it is not the unknown pathways and worst case scenarios. The choice label is very correctly selected. 100% people have answered this. Extremely happy. There is a very good situation to deal with because first question, 96% answered. That means all the countries are benefited by following the phytosanitary trade compliance. It is a common knowledge for everybody. Then the choice label set, which they have answered 100%, this indicates the readiness to absorb the knowledge related to phytosanitary trade compliance. Thank you very much. Please go to 7. Yeah, Dr. Hasanullah, yes, 7. So here, the correct answer is actually SPS regulation. So which is also good that at least more than 50% know this. So when a country plans to enact a new SPS, that means the existing restrictions for the export and import or regulations that you have, if you want to add something to that existing rules, then you need to communicate that with all the trade partners before it is applied. That means to bring the harmony and give equal opportunity to all the trading partners. That is the meaning of this, but I'm happy that more than 50% answered it correctly. Yeah, next please. Whatever that I have told you, the participants, please do not hesitate to ask any question related to these aspects. And you can ask in Bangla. And your interaction will help us to know much better. So absolutely don't hesitate in asking questions, anything. Nobody will look at anything. No individual is assessed here. It is organizational capacity which we are actually trying to focus and prioritize. Dr. Hasanullah, please continue.
Dr. Varaprasad, I think we don't have we do have, maybe considering the time, I also suggest maybe we could post the answers in the chat box for the participants to evaluate, to know.
Yeah, I think then we will quickly move and then complete it. Yeah, this is again SPS agreement. Yeah, quality requirements for the fresh food. And the best part is all 27 answered all the questions. Nice.
Yeah.
This is the last question.
Yes.
And yeah, so it is true is correct answer, more than 80% answered correctly. And all the presentations made in today's introductory session are shared in the chat box. Those who like to download, please go ahead and download, including our DG's presentation and my presentation, Dr. Ravi's presentation, everything is here. You can download and use it. for any purpose, education or knowledge enhancement for the trainers training. Yes, Shashi, yes, we have, unless they have any question and a specific question, if there is any doubt, they can ask. Otherwise, I'm done.
Thank you so much, Dr. Varaprasad. Maybe we'll wait for a few more seconds to see if we have any more questions, or else we will move to the vote of thanks. So in the meantime, I'll also be posting the answer keys for this in the chat box if you want. You can go through that. So since we don't have any more questions, we'll now move on to vote of thanks by Ms. Sangeeta from Plant Quarantine Wing. Sangeeta, over to you.
Thank you, Shashi. I deem it a great honor and privilege to vote of thanks on this memorable training. First and foremost, I thank Dr. Ravi Khetrapal sir and his associates for arranging such an excellent and much needed training on sanitary and phytosanitary agreements overview Bangladesh perspective. We do believe that this training will help to strengthening the capacity of export and resolve some issues in global arena for Bangladesh. I thank all the distinguished invitees and participants here, especially Dr. Asanullah sir, Dr. Varaprasad, Rita De sir, and APARI team for raising these thoughts-provoking issues and showing the ways for strengthening the capacity of Bangladesh in this regard. I believe that together we can resolve the issues and go a long way. Last but not least, I would like to express my heartiest thanks to our Honorable DG Sir, Muhammad Asadullah. Being very busy, you have extended your hand and encouraged us with your valuable lectures. I cordially thank you all for cooperation in making this training a resounding success. Thank you all.
I thank all the participants on behalf of the USDA, which has also partner in developing this training schedule, and APARI colleagues, guests who are invited, all the participants particularly, thank you very much from the APARI and USDA side.
Thank you so much, Dr. Varaprasad. Thank you so much, Sangeeta, for the great vote of thanks. We now request the participants to turn on your video for a quick photo shoot. We'll have a group photo.
All the participants and guests kindly put the video on.
সবাই ভিডিও অন করো, সবাই ভিডিও অন করলে ভালো হবে, প্লিজ সবাই ভিডিও অন করো, so that we can take a video.
Yeah, group photo.
Yeah, so 3, 2, 1, cheese. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for patiently waiting for throughout the meeting.
আমি একটু বলতে চাই, আমি ধন্যবাদ, I want to thank the APARI team and USDA team, and অবশ্যই আমাদের ডিএই এবং আমাদের বাংলাদেশের কোয়ারেন্টাইন প্রোটেকশন ড্যাম রিসার্চ ইনস্টিটিউট এবং বিআরসি হটেক্স ফাউন্ডেশন এবং ড্যামে যারা অংশগ্রহণ করেছেন সবাইকে অনেক অনেক ধন্যবাদ। আমরা কালকে পরশু 2 দিনে অংশগ্রহণ করব, আমাদের সামনে আমরা আরো অনেক কিছু জানতে পারবো। আমি সবার পারফরমেন্সে অনেক খুশি, কারণ হচ্ছে যে আমরা যতটুকু আশা না করেছি তার চেয়ে ভালো রেজাল্ট হয়েছে। আমরা যাতে আরো ভবিষ্যতে জানতে পারি এবং আমাদেরকে কাজে লাগাতে পারি, কারণ আমরা এটা বুঝি যে হচ্ছে যে এখন কোনো দেশ দখল করে না, দখল করে হচ্ছে যে বাজার। আমরা যদি না জানি তাহলে আমরা বাজার হারাবো। যাতে আমরা বাজার না হারাই তার জন্য আমাদেরকে হচ্ছে যে আমাদেরকে ইন্টারন্যাশনাল যে রুলস রেগুলেশন Wto Sps Agreement এবং যে স্ট্যান্ডার্ড সেটিং অর্গানাইজেশনের যে রুলস রেগুলেশন যেগুলো আছে সেগুলো আমাদেরকে জানতে হবে, মানতে হবে। সেই মানা এবং জানার জন্য আমাদের এই ট্রেনিংটা সেটা যেন আমরা জানি এবং মনোযোগ দিয়ে শিখি, সেই জন্য আমি সকলকে বিনীত অনুরোধ করতেছি সবাই যেন এই ট্রেনিং এ অংশগ্রহণ করে এবং জানার চেষ্টা করে। কোনো কোশ্চেনে যদি উত্তরের প্রয়োজন হয়, কোশ্চেন করলে বাংলা ইংরেজি যে কোনোভাবে কোশ্চেন করলে কোশ্চেনের উত্তর পাওয়া যাবে। ধন্যবাদ সকলকে। থ্যাংক ইউ এভরিওয়ান।
Thank you, Babcock, Tyler, and thank you, Jacob, for staying late midnight. Thank you so much for your support and your presence. And thank you, everyone, and my party colleagues also. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all. Bye.